right, so now that we've gotten some good practice on what radian measure is, we're going to start putting it to some good use. So today we're going to talk about linear and angular velocity. So hopefully some of us have had physics and we recognize velocity means speed. So imagine a carousel like at Disneyland. It's where the horses are next to each other and you go around in a circle. So it's a circular object that turns about an axis through its center. Other examples of objects that rotate about a central axis include Ferris wheels, like in Santa Monica, gears, tires, and CDs. So as the carousel or any other circular object rotates counterclockwise about the center, an object at the edge moves through an angle relative to its starting position known as the angular displacement, or they call it the angle of rotation. And so that's exactly what we've been talking about with that terminal side rotating about the origin. It's exactly the same thing, just now we're going to talk about it in terms of radians instead of in terms of degrees. So consider a circle with its center at the origin of a rectangular coordinate system, meaning that my points are x, comma, y. And I have point B on the circle rotating counterclockwise. So this point B is like the horse on the carousel that's going around this circle, okay? And so it says, let the positive x-axis be the initial side of the central angle, and the terminal side is ray OB. So the angular displacement is theta. So again, it's just theta in radians. The measure of theta changes as B moves around the circle, and all points on ray OB move through the same angle per unit of time. So think about if I had 3 horses in a row, no matter where B is located, those 3 horses still lie on that same line. So all 3 horses have moved the same angular displacement. And so when we talk about angular displacement, it's fancy for finding the angle measure in radians. All right, so it says determine the angular displacement in radians of 4.5 revolutions. Now, normally what we would have done is 4.5 revolutions times how many degrees per revolution, which was 360. But now we're going to say times how many radians per revolution. So think of this as like chemistry. I want to get rid of the revolutions and bring in the radians. So I have 4.5 revolutions times 2 pi radians for every 1 revolution. So multiplying across, that's going to be 9 pi radians. And it said rounded to the nearest tenth. So we're going to go ahead and use, and again, we're not going to use 3.14. We're going to say 9 times the pi button. Helps if I turn on the calculator. 9 times the pi button, which is going to give me approximately 228.3 radians. So you should be able to tell me either one of those. Okay, so take a moment to pause the video and tell me what is theta. By the way, this was finding theta. What is theta after 2.1 revolutions? So that means theta is going to be 2.1 revolutions times 2 pi radians for every 1 revolution. So now my revolutions cancel, and that's going to be 4.2 pi radians. Or if I plug that into my calculator, 4.2 times pi is going to give me 13.19, so 13.2 radians. So this is if they wanted it rounded to the nearest tenth, and this is if they wanted the exact answer. So both of those are good types of answers. All right, so angular velocity, or omega, which is a Greek letter, so it looks like a rounded out W, is going to be talking about the speed with which the horses travel, okay? So remember we said the horses that are on that terminal side are going to travel the same angle all the time. So imagine if there's a black horse on the outer track and there's a white horse on the inner track, the white horse would be here and the black horse would be here, and no matter where that terminal side rotates, they're going to stay at that same angle measure. So it's the change in that theta, that central angle with respect to time, as the object moves along the circular path. So as the horses move along the path. So the outer and the inner horse move at the same angular velocity if they're in the same row on the carousel. And so when we talk about the change in the angle with respect to time, that's going to be theta over t. So the fancy looking W, that's omega in Greek. That represents our angular speed or our angular velocity. Theta is representing our angular displacement. And again, it has to be in radians, otherwise it doesn't work. And then t is representing time. Since angular velocity is based on the central angle, the radius doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far away from the center each horse is located. So if we want to find the angular velocity of an object that's spinning 5.8 revolutions in 9 seconds, remember we said that angular velocity was going to be theta in radians over time. And as of right now, we don't have theta radians, we have 5.8 revolutions. So that's why it was important to practice, how do I find theta? So that's going to be 5.8 revolutions times 2 pi radians per revolution. And so that's going to be, it's 11.6, but let me double check. 5.8 times 2 gives me 11.6 pi, and that's going to be radians. So then coming over here, that means my theta is 11.6 pi radians, and my time is going to be 9 seconds. So in my denominator, I have 9, and then I have seconds. And it said rounded to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to go ahead and say I've got 11.6 times pi, darn fluorescent light, and then divide that by 9. And so this is about 4.0 radians per second. So that means whatever object is traveling around the center, it's traveling at 4.0 radians per second. Okay. So take a moment to pause the video and see if you can find the angular velocity for the next example. So again, the first thing we need to do is find theta. So I'm spinning 7.3 revolutions. So I'm going to do 7.3 revolutions times 2 pi radians per revolution. And so that's going to give me 14.6 pi radians. That's my angle measure that I have rotated. And so then it also told me I did that in 5 seconds. So then that means that my angular velocity is going to be theta over time. So it's 14.6 pi radians over the time of 5 seconds. And so when I finish, I'm going to have, if I can fit that, we've got 14.6 times pi divided by 5 gives me 9.17, so that's going to be 9.2 radians per second. So you'll notice it's going to be extremely important to tell me your units, because it's going to be a much different number if I said radians per minute versus radians per second.